All right, so we're trying a homemade pizza. See if I can do this. And there we are with the first one. Today I'm looking at something I've always wanted, a pizza oven. So if you've been thinking about bringing like a real pizza oven experience to your backyard, you don't want to spend all that money that some of the competitors charge, this Bighorn gas pizza oven, it's definitely worth a look. It is much more affordable than some of those big name brand ones that have spent tons of money on budgets, and it works. It is made out of stainless steel. It feels pretty solid and durable. You can see in there that I have used the pizza oven. I got the stone too hot when I put my first in, so I burnt the crust, but now I know we're going to come 200 degrees down. I watched some videos. It seems you want about 700, 800 degrees. Mine was actually over 1,000. So, that's going to happen. Now this is 22.5 inches by 22 inches by 19.5 inches. It weighs about 43 pounds with the stone. It actually feels pretty light without the stone. You put the stone in, then it starts to feel a little bit heavy. It's easy for me to carry this in and out of the garage. I do have it on a plastic table. I would recommend getting a metal table. It does have feet that raise it up so you get some protection from the surface, but it'd be better if it was a metal table. I'll work on that in the future. Now it does have an arc-shaped chamber that helps to circulate the heat evenly and save fuel. Speaking of saving fuel, you don't have to run this thing for an hour like some of the competition because it has a burner on the right side here, the control knob is, that actually heats the stone. On a lot of the competition, the flame just comes from like the side and the back, and you have to let the whole chamber heat up and heat the stone. That's one of the reasons I got it too hot, because I was like, well, let's try 15 minutes. And I came out at 15 minutes and it was like 1,000 something degrees. And I'm like, oh, that's what that knob is for. I could have read that in the manual, but who likes to read manuals? It has these anti-skid feet, they're rubber. You had to put those on. I had to put this on. I think those are the only things I had to install other than putting a battery into the electric ignition. You can use a match to ignite it if you want, just be safe. I'd say setup took 5 minutes from the time I cut open the box. Now this will do a 13-inch pizza because that's basically what the stone is, maybe a little bit bigger. It comes with a 5-foot propane hose, has a nice regulator and everything in it. It does have a foldable pizza peel. I wasn't sure about that, so I actually have another peel coming, but their peel worked pretty great, but it folds so it can store. You do have the two control knobs, like I said. You have the one over here that does the stone, and then this one comes along this side over here. They say you'll get an internal temperature about 660 Fahrenheit in 5 to 7 minutes and over 1,000 degrees at full blast. I did see someone say use a lower flame setting so you get a more even temperature, and that the middle of the stone can run a little hotter. That is kind of where the gas burner thing is, so that makes sense. You could also use this for stuff like steaks. You'd probably get a really nice crust on here, get a little cast iron like loaf pan or whatever and put it in there, get a really good crust, flip it once, and you could do chicken, fish, vegetables. Obviously you just want to turn the temperature appropriately. I want to try making some nuts in it, maybe some pita, and even try baking a loaf of bread in it just to see if I can. So stay tuned for that in future videos. Now it does have a 23,000 BTU burner, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just go ahead and start it up. So right now, so there's no funny business. We're at about 72, 60 Fahrenheit. It's about 50 outside. The stone was inside, so it's, 70 degrees. To do the one for the stone, it's slightly tricky. You actually have to turn it and push it in. Well, I guess it would help if I had the gas actually open. There we go. And there we go. So let me bring you a little bit closer here. And we'll see. You can already hear it heating up. There it is. It's 70, 71. 72. So see, it's going to heat up, and then you also want to start this one, and now you're going to heat the whole chamber. You'd want to put this on here. Now there's a little trick to this. You want to tilt it in a little first, and then it goes in. So I will let those go and heat up a little. I'm just going to do a frozen pizza in here right now because I didn't feel like making a bunch of dough, and I'm not very good at that. My wife is, and I'm still trying to figure out launching with the peel and stuff. So we're going to let this heat up. We'll come check the temperature again. It is 10:45 and 17 seconds. So we'll come back in a couple of minutes and see what the temperatures are. Now, I did say I'm going to use a frozen pizza in here. You do want that to kind of warm up a little. If you put something frozen on that stone when it's hot, the thermal shock could cause it to crack. It even warns about that in the manual. Keep that in mind. I just let it sit on the counter for like a half hour. Perfectly safe temperature, but it's lost a lot of that coldness. So now it's just like, 60, 70 degrees instead of being, whatever it came out of the freezer. So here's the peel I was talking about, and it is foldable. You fold it like that, and then gravity's going to hold it open so you don't have to worry about it collapsing. And I should probably clean some of the char off here, but maybe that's also some of the flavor. I'm going to set that down over there for a second. Go ahead and get you back into position. We'll check this. So the stone is now up to 390 degrees. You can kind of see where it's heating up first from the heating element. That'll kind of spread out. So it's 400 there, but on the sides it's about 300, 325. So I'll go ahead and put this back on, and I will monitor it closely. When it's close to 800 degrees, this really does have a trick. There you go. You got to come in straight in. There you go. And yeah, I'm actually going to turn that down just a little there. And we'll go ahead and let this get up to temperature. This thermometer is saying it's about 650 degrees inside there. I would get just one of those cheap $15 like laser temperature readers, or one of these better thermal imagers. I have a bunch of these, so these work for me. Exhaust temperatures, the gas is at about 436 degrees coming out of there. We're getting up in there. Now, one trick I saw online is if your stone is too hot, you're gonna slide it on there, let it just firm up the crust a little, quickly get it, and then just hold the peel at the top. We may employ that technique today. I tried to do that last time, but it was already too late, and I had burnt the crust pretty bad, but it's still really good. I'm actually putting a rising crust pizza in here, so I'm curious to see how much rise we actually get out of the frozen pizza. And again, ideally you're doing this with dough you make yourself. It is now 10:49 and 57 seconds. Let's check that stone's temperature again. So we're getting about 500, 400. So I'm going to get the pizza ready because I think we're going to be there before too long. You really got to come on straight. This is my only complaint with this thing. It's just, there we go. You have to come at the exact right angle, otherwise, bupkis. But I'm going to rearrange the camera, go get the pizza peel all set up and ready to go, and we'll get this thing started. I just checked again. The center of the stone is about 700. I'm going to give it another 45 seconds or so to even out. Then we'll go ahead and get the pizza in. The stone is about 800 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and get going here. And then I'm going to launch that in there. We're going to give it a second. And you can see here, we got the flames on that side. We've got that going on. Now, I figure there's a learning curve to this. You're supposed to turn it so often. But, I'm not good at turning it. I'm going to put this here for just a second. I think I'm just going to set that on between turns to keep some of that heat in there. Turn that a little. I saw some people say you can take the pizza out to turn it if it's easier for you. The crust is definitely rising a little. I'm actually going to turn it down just a little. We'll turn it again, then I'll put the lid or door back on for a minute. And we're turning that because, the flames are all over here. I'm already doing better on this one. Last time the crust was black already. It was black down on the bottom and it was creeping up. I'm actually gonna give it a little more heat. If you've got any tips on how to do this, leave them in the comments for me. I've watched a few videos, but definitely in new territory here. We'll go ahead and turn it a little more, and then we will, awfully close to the flame. Slide this over some. There we go. I'm gonna put the door back on. I will say, it smells just like a pizza place. I used to go to Noble Romans a lot as a kid. I don't know if they have those chains where you are. They're pretty scarce in Indiana now too, but out here in Utah, forget about it. But we'd go there and they'd have the window and you'd watch them make the pizza, and you put 50 cents in the machine and it would blow up a balloon. It was real fun. You play the bowling arcade game with the little rolling ball, and just really fun. But it smells just like that. That was the first thing I noticed when I tried this Sunday, is the smell was there, except I had a bunch of burnt smell in there. Today we're doing a lot better. So on the outside, the stone's about 600 degrees. The top of the pizza is about 216 from the air, and we're getting over 1,000 degrees from the flames. I have it capped at 1,040 Fahrenheit right now on my thermal imager. Turn it just a little more. There we go. I'll tell you, it's real nice having my stainless steel grill next to this because I can set that hot door on it. Oh yeah, my crust was starting to stick a little. I should have turned this quicker. A little crunchy on one side. I'm gonna turn the stone down, actually off now. The radiant heat should be good. Let's see, it is 10:59 and 8 seconds. The front of this is about 153 degrees. The top is about 295 by the chimney. We are now at 11 exactly. Give it another turn. We're definitely getting some rising. I think the crust is about to the point of burning, so I'm gonna turn this off. Much better this time. I still burn it a little, but nowhere near as bad as last time. I'm extremely happy with this rise. You do not get that kind of rise in the oven from this pizza. This is just one of these Craven. It's some brand out here in the Southwest. It's very comparable to a DiGiorno, but it's half the price at the store. You know, we got 187 degrees here on the crust. The center is about 156 degrees, 127 degrees over here. So you can tell this side was closest to the fire when I took it out. It's about 184. Had I turned that a little quicker, it would have just had a perfect kiss. So I'm getting there, man. All right, so we're trying a homemade pizza. See if I can do this. Okay, it's on there. Let me get the door back on. We'll turn this every once in a while and see how this comes out. We're gonna check it here. Get that door off of there. And there we go. Just turn it a little because the one side's getting a little crispy. Puffing up nice. See, I got a little crispy there, but I tried to pull it out and it started to stretch, so I had to leave it for a second. This is an art. All right, I'm just gonna give it another little check here. Looking pretty good. And there we are with the first one. You can see where I got it just a little bit dark in a couple of spots. I just gotta make sure I'm rotating that more and maybe turn the flame down a little. All right, I'm about to take the second one out, take it inside. And there she is, looking quite good. Again, I just got a little too close to that flame for a little too long, but much better on this side.